All right. In this presentation, we're going to be exploring the case of People versus O.J. Simpson of 1995. The presenters in this presentation are Diamario, Elena, Stacy, and Shamika.
We will be talking about the abstract of the presentation, overview of the topic, history of the topic, current events with the topic, summary of benefits/drawbacks, overview of the topic, discussion questions, and our references.
All right, within this presentation, we're going to explore the case known as the trial of the century. Few criminal cases have captured the public's attention. J. Simpson, and it sees the courtroom reflecting the complexities of American society. This trial exposed deep-seated issues in the criminal justice system, and we will examine a few of the case's historical significance. So for our abstract, the trial of O.J. Simpson, officially titled The People of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, stands as one of the most famous criminal cases in American history, capturing the attention of millions worldwide. It not only showcased the intersection of celebrity, culture, race, and the legal system, but it also revealed the strengths and weaknesses that we have in the United States criminal justice system. During this presentation, it'll explore the historical significance of the O.J. Simpson case, analyze its ongoing relevance in modern discussion about criminal law, and examine the ethical concerns that it raised, particularly in the context of fairness, evidence, and media influence. Also, to continue our abstract, The People versus O.J. Simpson was a landmark criminal trial in which former NFL star O.J. Simpson was accused of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. The case, dubbed as the trial of the century, captured the nation's attention with its mix of celebrity, race, and media sensationalism. Simpson's defense, known as the quote unquote Dream Team, successfully contended that evidence was mishandled and law enforcement was racially biased, resulting in his acquittal despite having convincing forensic evidence. The O.J. Simpson trial epitomizes the difficulties of the criminal justice system, highlighting the interplay of legal principles, public opinion, and systemic challenges. By examining the historical context, current relevance, and ethical issues surrounding the case, this presentation demonstrates how the trial reflects broader issues within criminal law and society.
The purpose of the People versus O.J. Simpson case is to inform. This will include discussing the background of O.J. Simpson, events leading up to the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, the investigation, the trial, and the aftermath, why this case was significant, and how it influenced the legal and cultural landscape in the United States.
The trial was heavily televised and increased awareness of DNA in the public. Experts were allowed to testify, which resulted in DNA being accepted in the U.S. courts and submitted as evidence. DNA technology was increased in criminal investigation, resulting in a rise in solving cold cases and exonerating wrongfully convicted individuals. The American Bar Association updated the model rule of profession conduct 3.6 Alpha to prevent lawyers from using the news media to influence the public to sway one way to jeopardize the integrity of the trial. The purpose was to maintain the integrity of the judicial process. It prohibited lawyers from making public statements through the news media on pending legal cases. Although O.J. Simpson was acquitted of criminal charges, he was found guilty in civil court for wrongful death. He was found liable for the death of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman and was ordered by the courts to pay $33.5 million to the families. O.J. Simpson went on Twitter to express his opinion about Alex Murdaugh trial. He admitted he was not an expert. However, he felt that Alex was probably guilty of the number of the murders of his wife and son. He mentioned that Alex was a habitual liar and probably took the stand to humanize himself to sway reasonable doubt in the jury's mind. He said that he thought that Alex was trying to persuade some of the jury that he was just a good old boy and was scared. That's why he lied about certain things. O.J. Simpson passed away at the age of 76 on April the 10th, 2024. The case of People versus O.J. Simpson is undoubtedly one of the most significant trials of the 20th century, destined to be debated, examined, and critiqued by legal professionals and the public for many years. Mistakes were made. However, you can't erase them. Only learn and not make the same mistakes. Videos of the case have been analyzed to note the errors that occurred that led a guilty person exonerated and how to prevent it in future cases. Mistakes were made during the trial by the judge, prosecutor, and defense attorneys that caused the jury to exonerate with overwhelming evidence of guilt. Just to name a few mistakes, it was said that the judge allowed Larry King and a couple others to appear in his chambers and informed them that the domestic violence charges were hearsay, and they was told before the trial lawyers were informed. Mistakes were made by the detectives. The chain of custody was broken with evidence. Evidence was undocumented and stored in investigators' pants pockets for long periods of time. Evidence was not collected immediately. Some ethical errors were O.J. Simpson's Fourth Amendment right had been violated from illegal search and seizure. His premises were searched 6 hours before the warrant was issued. The lead detective made racial comments. He pled the Fifth when he was asked if he falsified police reports, which is not illegal. It just caused doubt in the jury's mind. Miss Simpson's social worker said Nicole Brown Simpson had allegedly reported to her abuse by O.J. Simpson, which went against client confidentiality. The case brought attention to problems in the justice system, like how race and celebrity status can impact legal outcomes. Simpson's acquittal was highly controversial, splitting public opinions and sparking debates that still continue to this day.
Okay, and now let's get into the summary of benefits and drawbacks. So, benefits of the legal changes post-trial. Firstly, we have stronger focus on evidence. The trial underscored the importance of forensic science, leading to its more rigorous use in modern cases. Secondly, we have increased awareness of systemic issues. The trial brought national attention to how race and wealth affect legal outcomes, sparking debates and reforms in policing and courts procedures. Now let's get into the drawbacks. Firstly, we have persisting inequalities. The system still favors wealthy defendants who can afford better representation, persuading unequal outcomes. Secondly, we have public distrust. High-priced cases often deepen divisions and skepticism about the justice system impartially. So to add on to the drawbacks and benefits, the people versus O.J. Simpson trial exposed systemic fault in American law, particularly the desperate treatment of group based on race and socioeconomic background. The case demonstrated how a minority population frequently disrupt police enforcement and the legal system as a result of historical injustices, yet rich defendants such as Simpson benefit from resources that enable strong legal defenses. This disparity reflects greater inequalities in the justice system, where access to high quality representation has a considerable impact on results. Efforts to address these challenges include jury selection reforms to assure diversity, increased law enforcement training to eliminate racial bias, and also stricter standards for evidence processing forensic. Stricter standards for evidence processing and forensic practices are also critical in preventing wrongful convictions and ensuring that the integrity of criminal investigation. Investing in advanced forensic technology and providing better training for forensic experts can minimize errors and enhance the reliability of evidence presented in court. These measures can help restore public confidence in the justice system ability to deliver fair outcome. Finally, the O.J. Simpson trial serves as a stark reminder of the broader societal issues that intersect with the legal system, including racial inequality, media influence, and economic disparity. While the case itself remains as controversial and polarizing topic, its legacy has prompted important conversations about justice and equality. By addressing these systemic flaws exposed by the trial, society can take steps toward creating a legal system that is more just, equitable, and reflective of its values.
The People versus O.J. Simpson case is a significant example of how criminal law operates in high profile cases. Here are a few points on how criminal law relates to this case. First, being the nature of the charges. Criminal law deals with offenses against the state or society as a whole. In this case, O.J. Simpson was charged with 2 counts of first degree murder for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. This falls under criminal law because it involves serious crimes against individuals and the state. The other being the burden of proof. In criminal law, the prosecution must prove the defendant's guilt, quote, beyond a reasonable doubt, end quote, a high standard designed to protect the accused. O.J. Simpson's defense team capitalized on the concept of reasonable doubt by challenging the evidence's credibility and the integrity of the investigation.
So now, to kind of close off the presentation, I have a few discussion questions. So the first is, how did the media coverage of O.J. Simpson trial influence public perceptions of the justice system? And do you think this impact was positive or negative, and why? Secondly, we have, how did the Simpson trial highlight fundamental inequalities in the American legal system, such as racial and socioeconomic inequality, and have these concerns changed from the trial? And lastly, we have, do you think the People versus O.J. Simpson judgment would have been different if it had occurred in today's legal and social climate? So thank you for listening to our presentation. I hope that my group members and myself had gave you a better uh understanding and more of an insight about the O.J. Simpson case. Thank you. Here's a reference page.